Memorize it.
Again, on the back, you have your olecranon fossa of the humerus, right? This is the olecranon process, right? That is where that sits into right there, right? Olecranon kind of sounds like ulna, right? That U shape reminds you that it's an ulna bone right there, right? And this right here is your elbow, right? That's what you could feel. That's your elbow right there. This little bone, this is part of your elbow. And if you walk that, you feel that, you could feel your ulna all the way down your arm right there. And you get to this, you're going to get to your pinky side, which tells you that this is sitting on your pinky side, right? So it looks like, okay, that worked, right? But so does this, right? So how are you going to tell if this is right or left, right? You're going to look for features that one side is different from the other over here. The main feature I use, really the only one, is this groove right here, or a notch, sorry. A notch right there, right? This is called the radial notch because that's where the radial head sits in, snuggled up right there. And it spins around it in this movement right here. Take this guy. This movement right here. Remember this movement, you see the radius isn't moving. This movement right here, when you flip your hand over, is this when your radial head spins over here. Okay. So that radial notch has got to be facing, if this is sitting medially, which we just established by feeling yourself, right? This has got to be sitting medially. Which way is this got to be facing? The radial notch. It's got to be facing out toward the thumb. Okay? So this right here doesn't work because it's facing, there's no radial bone outside my arm usually, right? This does work because it's sitting facing the thumb side laterally. So these are very important all throughout the semester. Next unit, we're going to talk about muscles. There's a flexor carpi ulnaris on your medial side. There's a flexor carpi radialis on your lateral side. There's a radial nerve. There's an ulnar nerve. There's an ulnar artery. There's a radial artery. They're all traveling named after these bones on the lateral and medial side. So keep that in mind always. At the very end, so you got your olecranon process. You got the trochlea notch that sits in the trochlea. You got the radial head. This is called the coronoid process. Right here, underneath the coronoid process is the ulnar tuberosity. This is where your brachialis muscle sits in. That's a little notch right there. And then at the very other end right here, you got the radial head, ulnar head. And also this little thing right here, that's called the styloid process. Just like this right over here. Just like this over here, this little thing right here, right? The styloid process. So that's got a styloid process. Ulnar head is at the distal end of your ulnar. Unlike the radial bone, which the head is at the proximal end. Okay? Remember the radial head fits in the radial notch? Your ulnar head fits in your ulnar notch of your radius bone. So that's over here. On the other side of the radial bone, you got a styloid process. Right? The styloid process is making up the bracket of your wrists right here, these two styloid processes. Right? So this has got to be sitting laterally. Okay? That's sitting like this. And then this over here, this bump right here, remember you had an ulnar tuberosity? You got a radial tuberosity. This bump right here. So radial head, radial tuberosity,